If your lower back feels stiff, this is a simple movement exploration you can try. So before doing exercises, movements, I like to begin by feeling how the body moves. What does it like? What does it not particularly like? What feels stretchy? What feels open? Not to achieve the perfect movement, but to become curious about the language of our body and what it's communicating in this moment. As you move, notice how it feels. Does the movement feel smooth? Does one side feel different to the other? Here, we're gathering information. For me, the pelvis is one of our core foundations for all movement. Let's feel how it's moving. Again, how does the movement feel? Smooth, uncomfortable. Sometimes, and I've seen this a lot, people are not yet familiar with certain movements in their body. And sometimes slowing down a movement helps us to notice things we've previously rushed past. If pelvic positions is not something you're familiar with or overly familiar with, in my opinion and from my experience, you want to learn it first in a seated position or on your hands and knees. Once you understand what those movements feel like, you can then try it in standing. And then we can introduce a balance challenge. So here it's not just about the foot, although this is another key foundational component. A single leg balance is a whole body conversation. And noticing what does your pelvis want to do in this position? Is your pelvis in a position that your tummy muscles switch on? Can you take relaxed breaths? And remember that small adjustments are perfectly natural. Finally, we're exploring a different direction of movement for the back body. And if you are not able to get down onto the floor in this particular situation, you can use a chair. And this enables you to do this child's pose variation in a standing supported position. And just notice whether you can soften your breathing here. Ideally here, you want to feel a gentle stretch up your back body, maybe into the back of the shoulders as well, maybe a little bit into the front of the shoulders. And again, depending on your posture and natural positioning, you may just want to arch your lower back a little bit to stick out your bottom to get more of a stretch through your side body as well as your back body. And by crossing the hand and placing one on top of the other, that will give you more of a side body stretch. And then introducing a rotation. If any of you are familiar, then this would be like a thread the needle variation. I think rotation feels really, really good. And it can release a lot of stress from the body. So make sure you breathe into these positions. And then let's shake it off and return to the first movements. Here you can notice what feels different. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes the change is quieter, and sometimes it doesn't change. Every response gives us useful information for our next movement practice and what we might want to explore next time. One of my favourite parts of movement is this moment. Not because we're looking for dramatic changes, but because we're learning how the body responds.